So it's so important to enhance connectivity. You're according to enhance.
मानव, तेरा माइक शुरू है।
We will be starting in 10 minutes, so tell your friends to join.
Hey guys, we'll be starting soon.
So welcome guys to our very first technical session. We've got a great session planned for you today, and it is about GitHub 101, an adventurous guide to open source. So here's a quote. When others are in pubs and some other clubs, we are on GitHub. So while some of us are partying to our heart's content, we are coding to our heart's content. Sincerely, a developer. So without any further ado, let's get this session started. So what is open source? It is a software which is freely available to use, redistribute, and modify. Projects that are open source encourage a transparent process that is advanced through distributed peer review. On a fundamental level, it's the software whose code is available for all users to inspect, modify, copy, and use in almost any way they choose. So while we are studying about open source, we'll come across various terms such as freeware, shareware, and open source. So the major difference between freeware and open source is that the source code of freeware is not publicly available. Some examples of freeware is Adobe PDF, Yahoo Messenger, Google Talk, etc. Freeware is made available for use free of charge for an unlimited amount of time. Whereas Blender, Linux, Firefox, etc. all come under open source. The source code is publicly available. So, Ritvik, why should I contribute to open source?
Thanks, Manav, for the introduction. Hey guys, this is Ritik Gupta, and let me answer the question why you should contribute to open source. First of all, you get hands-on coding experience. This way, you gain a lot of knowledge and experience. You also get feedback about your solutions, so you can even brush up your skills and thus write cleaner code every time. You also gain recognition in the community, and this boosts up your resume. Recognition can also end up with a lot of job opportunities by potential employers. you get to learn and understand various different technologies. And you also get to know about how to work on a project, which will be very helpful throughout your coding journey. All these things are absolutely free, and there are many open source contribution events which you can participate in. These are discussed in the next slide. Yeah, so while you are contributing to open source, these are the major events you can participate in, and these are recognized all over the world. So in these, you just have to contribute to open source projects, and this way you like gain knowledge, experience, along with a lot of perks. So first of all, we have Google Summer of Code, which is officially organized by Google itself. Then we have Xorg Foundation, Hacktoberfest, Season of KDE, which stands for K Desktop Environment, which is a free and open source graphical desktop environment. Also, we have Outreachy. These are only some of the events. There are many more such events. All these events are like non-profit events, so they just want to encourage students to contribute to open source and gain experience. We will talk about some of them further in the event. Next slide. Yeah, so when you hear about the term open source, it is not that it is only for softwares. We even have open source hardwares also. Some examples of these are Arduino. Okay, Arduino is a open source electronics platform or board, and there's a software used to program it. So Arduino is designed to make electronics more accessible and create interactive objects or environments. Arduino boards can be used to read inputs, turn on LEDs, activate motors, and many more things. We also have ArduPilot, which is an open source vehicle autopilot software suite. You can use it to control multi-rotor drones, VTOL aircrafts, helicopters, and stuff like that. Also, we have Node MCU, which is an open source firmware. Node MCU comes from the name, like you can combine the name Node and MCU. So MCU here stands for microcontroller unit. Next slide. Yeah. So now that I've told you so much about open source, now I'll like name some popular softwares which you all would be knowing, and you have to guess their FOSS. Okay, that is FOSS alternatives, which means free and open source alternatives. Okay, you can like write those names in the comment box. I'll give a pause about 10 to 15 minutes for you guys to answer. So let this be an interactive session. All right. Yeah. So first of all, we have Adobe Photoshop. I think many of you must be already knowing it that it is a raster graphics editor. So can you guess its open source alternative?
Guys, just type it in the chat so that we can know how you know about open source.
Okay, so yeah, that's right,
Yeah.
Aditya.
Yep.
It's GIMP. That's perfectly correct. It is an open source raster graphics editor. Yeah, Canvas, like it is free for use, but Canvas is not open source, right? Others can, like, not everyone can code about it. All right. Next we have Google Chrome. Can you guess its open source alternative?
And anyone know? No? Oh, okay. Chromium.
Yeah, Chromium is one of the right answers. These
Uh,
questions might have more than one correct answers because
Yeah.
there can be more alternatives, right? Yeah, Chromium and Firefox, right? So these are open source browsers. Next, the question is about Autodesk Maya. So Maya is used to generate 3D assets for films, television, game development, architectures. So the open source alternative is quite like popular. Yeah, right. It is Blender, which is an open source 3D computer graphics software, which is used for similar applications. Next is an application which you all use like daily. It is Google Play Store, also known as Android Market. So can you guess its open source alternative? Okay, so it's F-Droid, which is a software repository for Android, and it contains only free and open source apps. Okay, it is similar to Play Store, but it contains only free and open source apps. Next one, I'm sure all of you would be knowing, is Windows, which is an operating system designed by Microsoft. What is the alternative to that? Yeah, everyone got it right. It's Linux. So GNU Linux combined, we get an open source operating system. Next, we have Netflix, which is a subscription-based streaming service, which is officially paid. Okay, so what can be the open source alternative for this? Can anybody guess? Yeah, so the answer is Streamio, which is an open source video streaming platform. Okay, thanks guys, you guys were wonderful. Next, I would like to hand over the session to Varun.
Hey guys, I'm Varun Irani. I'm sure we've all been in this situation where we have multiple copies of the same file and different changes on the same content that you've put in multiple files. You will have duplicate content all over these files, and your file system is going to get cluttered so much that updating these copies after a certain period of time will become very tedious and it becomes tiring. So we all have been in this situation, right? All right, next slide. We also have been in a situation where sometimes you're working on an important project or an assignment and your file becomes like corrupt like crazy because, for example, your system was shut down accidentally, you had power loss or something happened in memory, and you realize, oh no, I cannot go back now. So basically your history or your work you have put in, your hard work, all is gone. So you and I have been in this situation before. Next slide. So that's where the version control systems come in. And version control systems are normally things that, or rather software, you can use to keep track of the changes of your files. You can go back in the past to see what you've done before, and also maybe revert changes that you have made accidentally. So Subversion, Git, and Mercurial are one of the sort of what you call version control systems out there, but Git is the most popular. Next slide. So what do you guys think? Are Git and GitHub the same? Well, the answer is no, because it's a very simple and straightforward answer that GitHub is a graphical user interface. You can actually use your mouse and click around on the website, and it has features that does not encompass everything that Git can do. Git is a much more powerful command line tool, a command line interface. So Git and GitHub are not exactly the same. Next slide. So what is Git? So Git is a free and open source version control system developed by Linus Torvalds, the one and only, the creator of Linux. And he has done such a great job for developers out there, and they have never been as happy as they are right now. So Git is an amazing alternative for version control systems. Next slide. So what is a version control system? As you all know, I've explained it that if you want to keep track of your changes, of your files that in the past, and you can revert back to them, and you can switch it to any version. You have different branches of code. You must have heard these terminologies before, and you can merge branches, and all these things will be covered later in the session. All right, next slide. So let's talk about some terminology. A directory is a folder and a place where you can store most of your code, actually all of it. And you would normally create directories using mkdir, the command that is shown on the screen, and you can change your directories using cd. And where you will put these commands like mkdir or cd or any git related command, you will put them on a terminal. A terminal is a place where you can put text commands and certain operations in the system will be performed. Now, as I told you, there is a difference between a GUI and a CLI. And a CLI is a command line interface where you can type in text commands and operations will be performed. Whereas in a GUI, you use your mouse and keyboard to interact with the GUI or the graphic elements on your screen. For example, a website or even a desktop application. These are all graphical user interfaces. Right. Next slide. Okay, so to talk about some basic Git concepts and show you a little demo, we have Laukik Chavan here. Hi, Laukik, go ahead.
Hi. Hi, guys. I am Lokik. So let me start my camera and next. Okay. Can I share my screen right now? Okay. Oh, okay. Git repositories. So there are two types of repositories are there: local repository and remote repository. Remote repositories are the repositories that are on a cloud or on a websites like GitHub, GitLab, etc. So they can be accessed by anyone in the world if they are public, and if you store them as a private repository, they are only accessible to you. And local repositories are repositories that are on your machine. Means when you create a repository that is on your machine, that known as a local repository, and repository on a cloud or on a website like GitHub, GitLab are known as remote repositories. So, and there are multiple things in the repositories like git ignore files, / git folder, which stores all the information about you, and that is common between both repositories. Next slide. So branches. Sometimes you can encounter something like you are doing a program in one specific thing. In my case, recently I work on a project and we are doing a certain thing using arrays in JavaScript, and array, but that is giving us a error, lots of error. So I think we can do same thing using objects. So my friends told me how you can work on that. We are working on arrays. So I create a new branch known as working on object, and that is the same thing that copying one project to other folders. I mean, sometimes you does that using कि एक फोल्डर लिया है, उसका नाम चेंज करो और उस पे चेंजेस करो to show your friends that my thing is working, and then you combine that. So Git is very clean. You can create a branch within the folder and it is only accessed by a command known as git checkout, and that branch name, then when you check out to that branch you can see only that branch's content, and when you check out to other branches you see only that branch's content. So in one folder you can have multiple versions of that same program. You can access them using the branch, and like a graphic is showing there, you have a main branch known as master branch, then you can add your work in another branch and someone else can add their version in their branch, and you can merge them at the end. So next. So commit means when you are done with everything and your program is running perfectly that you want, like you wanted, so you say commit means save this version of program with some text. You want to specify that this program is using button rightly, or theming of button is done, or hello world is printed, etc. You can commit the message anything you want. The message will be shown to the other users that this program is is done, and the commit is known as this. So commit is a point which is saved in a GitHub or a version as a version, and you can roll back to that version anytime you want in a whole development program. So commit is like a save point, or when you play a game, GTA Vice City sabne khela hoga. So when you play a game, you save that thing somewhere, and now when you close that game and reopen, tomorrow you can start with that game only by using that save file. So commit is like a save file for version control in Git. Next. So pull request. When you have multiple branches and forked projects and all, you have one main branch and there are very different sub branches. So that sub branches should have a hierarchy, how a project should merge to main branch. So you can't directly push, or you can directly combine your work to the main branch, because that can have conflicts. Conflicts means you work on, say, a file, and your friend also worked on the same file, so the file is confused which version is correct, yours or your friends. So that is solved by pull request. Pull request means एक बंदा होगा जो सबसे टॉप में रुकेगा मेन ब्रांच को, और उसको सब बोलेंगे कि मेरा ये कोड हो गया है, ये मर्ज कर दे, मेरा ये कोड हो गया है, ये मर्ज कर दे मेन ब्रांच पे. और टू से मेरा ये कोड हो गया है, मर्ज कर दे, वी सेड it's a pull request. Pull request means nothing, but you are saying my work is done, I want to combine this work with main branch, so so merge this with the main branch. So pull request is that. Next. So basic GitHub command demo. Let's start with a demo. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, Loki, go ahead.
So
also, please do tell the audience how does one install Git on their machine?
Yeah, sure. So where you are, first thing first, I said Git. Go first. You go to your favorite search engine. In my case, is DuckDuckGo, and then Git download for Windows or for any operating system you want. Then you can have a first link, git.scm. Go to that and you can download Git from there. In Windows or in Mac or Linux, you can go to sudo any your package managers. For me it's Zipper, but you can have apt, you can have pacman, anything. Or in Mac, I guess there is some Groove, and sudo groove install Zipper install Git, and it will install the Git. So if you want to see the Git is installed or not, just say Git, and you can have this screen or this text, and that means the Git is installed in your machine. So let's get started with Git. Is my screen is perfectly visible? मैंने पूछना पड़ा
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So to create a folder, like Varun says, mkdir is a command. So we start with there. So mkdir, make directory. You can name the directory anything. So for me, I will go with test git and enter. So the test git directory is made. Test git directory is there. So now you want to change your directory. Right now I am in root home directory. I want to go in test git directory. So you said change directory, or cd in short, and test git and enter. So you are in test git directory. You can see here the little notation that I am in a test git directory. And now you want to create a program file, any programming language you can use. For a demo, I will use Python. So you can use any text editor you want. Now for me, I am going to use gedit, the best text editor. So main.py. So you create a file named name main.py. Now you can write your program here, anything you want. Hello world, and save. So go back to this, and now you want to see your program is running or not. So python main.py. So my program is running. Yay. Now I want to create, I want to change this program to a Git repo. So how can I do that? So first of all, you want to say that this folder is a Git repo. So to do that, you have to do git init. So Git will initialize this directory as a local Git repo. So this and initialized git empty repo, the Git. So ho gaya. Your your directory is now a Git repo. So you can have git status. So no command, git status tells you कि what is the status of your repo, means there are any commits. Like I said, commits are the messages or save points you can roll back to with the message. So there are any commits, there is no, क्योंकि हमने अभी उसको git initialize किया है. Branch, I am on master. By default branch, git branch will be master, but you can create many branches. And then untracked files. So untracked files means तूने जो git अभी access नहीं कर सकता, you have to tell git that access this file to commit or to stay in a version control environment. So to do that, we have another command known as git add, and you can specify the file name with git main.py, or you can say dot. Dot means any folder, any file in that directory will be added to the git. So I will go for dot because there is only one file, and so git add dot means anything in that folder will be added to the git as a version controller in a version control environment. So we will be using the git for that file. So add. So now I say the git status, it will says कि new file main.py. So it is green now, and ऊपर वो red था क्योंकि हम वो tracked फाइल में नहीं था. बट अभी वो बोल रहा है कि वो न्यू है और उसको कमिट नहीं किया, वो न्यू है. सो हमें अब उसको कमिट करना पड़ेगा जिससे वो सेव हो जाए और हम कभी भी उस पर रोल बैक करें. सो टू डू दैट वी हैव थर्ड कमांड git commit -m for message, and in quotes you can say anything. For me now, relevant message, so your peers can understand what did you do in that commit and all. But for me right now, I did a hello world program in Python. So I will go for hello world program in Python, or not in Python, just hello world program. So done and go. क्या हुआ? Oh, my bad. उसने वो escape किया. Yes. So hello world program in Python. So commit हो गया. So now if we see the status, it will say on branch master nothing to commit. Working tree is clean. Working tree means जो भी तुम बनाओगे, अलग अलग branches बनाओगे, because it's a branches are related to trees. So there is some terminology from that कि trees are there. Working tree means जहाँ तुम work कर रहे हो. Master is like a trunk and you have multiple branches from that. So it's saying that there is no branch currently which with different versions on it. So the tree is clean, everything is in sync. So that working tree is clean means सब perfect है, सब sync में. So now we create a local repo. Then how can I push this local repo to the main, means to the GitHub? So we can go to GitHub. This is my GitHub page. So if you can go here and say new repo and say repository name. So abhi ke liye to test git repository name. So it says कि available क्योंकि मेरे पास test git नाम का repo already नहीं है. So I can create test git. And like I said, public means anybody can see, and private means nobody can see except you. So I will go for public and then create a repo. So it will create a repo. So it gives me some instructions that you can do this, and you can create the yeah. But I will हमने वो सब किया है ऑलरेडी क्योंकि इनिट किया है. फिर ऐड रीडमी वो अलग है, हम अभी रीडमी का नहीं देखने वाले. रीडमी मींस जस्ट मार्क्ड फाइल दैट सेज कि हमारा प्रोजेक्ट क्या कर रहा है. मींस एनीबॉडी फर्स्ट कम टू योर प्रोजेक्ट, इट देयर इज समथिंग one file should be there that tells the user that what this project does. like that. So readme is there, that. So then git commit, हमने commit कर दिया अपना first. So git branch dash m. So m main means वो बोल अभी के लिए GitHub का थोड़ा सा चल रहा है कि master से main conversion. So git create a master branch first, but GitHub says you should change the master branch to the main, means उनका name change करो, बाकी कुछ नहीं. So वो हम branch से कर सकते हैं. And then add remote. So this जो ये command है वो हमारा remote origin और remote repo add करता है. So to do that we will copy the URL, go here and say get remote add origin. Origin is just a name. You can give here my remote URL, anything. Origin is just like कि convention है कि सब use कर रहे हैं origin as a main, so maybe origin use करता, but you can name it anything. So अभी के लिए origin क्योंकि हम भी naming convention use कर रहे हैं. And then copy paste dot get. This dot get is important because if you don't dot get it, so ये error देगा. So dot get URL के बाद dot get लगाना जरूरी है. So ये होने के बाद done, your remote origin is added. So you can push this folder or this program to your GitHub. To do that, you can you can have some errors here also, क्योंकि to do that you have to config also, but I guess that is user.email. I should see that. ठीक है. So git remote add origin. Then after that you should push master origin master. This command says that the git should push this project or this project to origin. Only the master branch should be pushed, not a whole project. So अभी के लिए हम सिर्फ master branch push कर रहे हैं. So push means just uploading. So ये मुझे OpenSSH पूछता what is my GitHub username. So my GitHub username is this, and now the GitHub username हुआ, तो what is my password. So after that it will push my master to master, and we can see here that my program is here in GitHub. So I can see, means my friends can see what I did and all. So this is just a master branch, but if you want to create some new branch, so how can you do that? So just you want to say git checkout -b and branch name. So branch name should be hello Laukik, क्योंकि मैं hello world को change कर रहा hello Laukik से. So hello Laukik. Now I go here and just फिर से करता gedit main.py. So hello Laukik and this. So we change that. So git status, let's see. So it says on branch hello world, changes not staged for commit is we modified main.py, and we didn't commit that, so we have to commit that. So now we can say git.commit commit -m. So here I can say whatever, means in a message, but relevant message should be there. So hello kick program. So
Loki, I think you have to stage your changes first. Git add.
Oh yeah, sorry, git add, yeah. Git add dot, क्योंकि हमें सब add करना है, and then git commit. So git status is nothing, working tree is clean. So after that I want to I want to push this program to GitHub. So to do that on same branch, so I want to do git push origin and hello लौकिक. So अब ये क्या करेगा, ये ओरिजिन पे हेलो लौकिक ब्रांच बनाएगा और मेरा हेलो लौकिक ब्रांच वहां पुश करेगा. फिर से यूजर नेम एंड पासवर्ड. So after that we can see reload your file and you can see hello लौकिक here. So यहाँ तुम्हें आता है compare and pull request. So when you do that compare and pull request, you pull means you merge hello लौकिक branch with master branch, and here you can, it says able to merge because there are no conflicts, but there can be several conflicts there like this कि change is it's saying change कि hello world का लौकिक हो गया. So but ये इतना बड़ा नहीं है, so they can directly merge, but sometimes there are conflicts that can be that should be resolved. But अभी के लिए normally ऐसा आता है, so you can say create a pull request, and because I am the owner, so I can merge the pull request directly from here. But when you are working on a big project, you can't do directly merge pull request. You should wait for the authority to merge it. So merge, and I can give commit to this pull request also, means merge कर रहे हो, so I can create a new commit for that. But for right now I will go for commit confirm and done. So hello लौकिक here means master branch पे भी hello लौकिक commit आ गया क्योंकि हमने दोनों को merge किया. So done. Okay.
Yes, that's amazing, Lokik. Thank you.
And
okay, so what you saw right now was basically a demonstration of creating your own local repository, as well as making a pull request on your own repository. What about making requests on another person's repository? Let's say your friend has its own profile and made a repository there, and you have to make some changes and then send a pull request. So I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'll share my screen. Okay, I hope my screen is visible. Do let me know.
Yeah, visible.
yeah, it's visible.
Great. All right. So I'm at GitHub right now, and DSC Mesco has its own organization profile here on GitHub, where you yourself can check out our repositories, and you can make some changes to it, maybe make some improvements to what the code is present here right now. And there are so many people here, over almost 80 people here who are contributing to us. And we are basically making sure that the community benefits from whatever we make. And that's basically an aim of a DSC, to be honest. And you can create repositories in any language you want. Let it be C++, Java, Go, anything, Dart, maybe create Flutter apps. But make sure that if you want to contribute to DSC Mesco, we will send you a form in the chat box. We'll send you forms as well after the meeting, after this event, in order for you to register to this particular organization, and you can commit your code there. You can create repositories and basically have a wonderful time developing. So that's what we're doing. And so now let's come to the main topic, where we have some other person's repository and I want to make some changes to it. So I see now that I find a repository GitHub 101. Okay, so I'll go to that repository and see one file is over here. Okay, let me open it up. And I look at this file and I see, okay, so someone wants to find the sum of the array elements. So, and over here, someone put a nice message, hi contributor, please write your code here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, normally if you like the repository and support it, you would click star. So I'm going to click star. And normally when you want to use their code onto your profile, you will click this fork button. Fork is a very simple thing. basically the original repository, its copy is made and that copy resides on your profile. So we're going to click fork. Okay, and where should we fork it? Okay, I have my account is here. So I'm going to click on my account. And now, as you can see, Varun Irani / GitHub 101. That's the repository that is being forked onto my profile. So I'm going to basically edit this file, or rather, let me put a little demonstration here where you want to get this code on your machine. How do you do that? If you see this green code button, you can click on it. And normally you can download this as a zip file, keep it simple, or you can do it the pro way using the git command line interface, and you can click on this copy button to copy this repository's link. So you click on copy, and now I've opened a terminal here. Let's say I want to go to some directory. Okay, I'll go to some directory here, and I want to clone that repository in this directory. So what I'm going to type is git clone, and then I can paste that URL. So once that is done, okay, I think a directory already exists here. What I'm going to do is remove that. Okay, so git clone and paste the URL. So it says cloning, and immediately that repository has been cloned. So let us see what is there in that. Let's see, go to what do you call it? GitHub 101 folder using CD, and let's see what's in the. Okay, so we have arraysum.js. Great. So now I want to make the changes here. As usual, I want to contribute my code to their repository. What I'm going to do is now Lokik used gedit for his on his Linux machine, and my favorite text editor on the command line is Nano. So I'm going to use that. Keep it simple. Okay, so we have code here. And what I'm going to do is actually complete the code here. It's very simple and straightforward. So let sum is 0. This is JavaScript, by the way. You can write this in Python. It's up to you, whatever the repository requirement is. Okay, let me quickly do this. Sum plus equal to AR index I and return sum. So this is my code. This is my contribution to this file, and I'm going to save the file. Okay, if you want, we can view the file again. Yeah, okay, my code is present there. Great. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do git status to check what we have left to commit. Okay, something has been modified, so we're going to stage our changes. Git add dot. This is your workflow basically. All of your you should program it in your mind by now. It should be git status, git add, git commit, and git push. That is your basic flow and routine. So git commit, sum function complete, then git push origin, and I see I'm on the master branch. Yes, git push origin master. Okay, so now my code has been pushed onto my remote repository. So let us check that. Okay, sum function complete. I see that my code is here. Great, amazing. So now what I can do is this branch is, if you see this notice here, this branch is one commit ahead of the original person's repository. So what we're going to do is click on contribute and click on open pull request. So pull request from my account will go to their account. So I'll click on open pull request. Okay, and I'll just click on create pull request. Yeah. Okay, now if you go to the actual, suppose the other person's repository, of course, I own this, we are contributors to this repository, so I can view it, but normally the other person will view it, and that person will go and see in the repository, is there a pull request? Okay, I can see a pull request here. I can see one count is present here. So I'm going to go over there, and I see some person named Varun Irani has sent a pull request. So I'm going to go there. And I can check out the code, what this person has done. and I see, okay, this person has added the actual sum code and it actually is very nicely done. And what I'm going to do is merge this pull request. Just how Lowkick did it is his own branch to his in his own repository. The maintainer of this repository will merge my code. That is if he or she accepts it. And there we go. So the code has been merged. And we can see in the original master branch that my code has officially been committed. So that's how you normally take someone else's code by clicking fork. You make your changes, you push to your own repository and create a pull request. So that's how it's done. All right. Yeah, Manav, go ahead. Okay. So have you guys ever wondered you can host your own websites on GitHub Pages as well? So GitHub Pages is a place that you can freely host your website. Of course, your domain name will not be that professional, but your domain name will have the form your username .github.io/your repository name. So that is the actual whole URL where you are going to see your hosted web application. Normally, what you would do is you would create a repository locally as well as remotely, and then you can link them together using the remote command as Lowkick demonstrated. And you commit, add, and push your code. Then once that is done, you can go in your settings and see, okay, there is a GitHub Pages section, and I can connect my master branch to GitHub Pages, and immediately your deployment will take place. Karan, do you want me to cover this, or are we running on time?
We are running on time. We can cover it.
Okay, we can?
Yeah, we can.
All right, great. So luckily enough, I can cover this demonstration. So I'll again ask to share my screen. Okay. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Great. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start clean. Okay. Here is my directory where I want to create what we call a repository, and I'm going to create a repository from scratch. Okay. mkdir. Let's call it gh pages. Okay. gh pages demo. Right. It's already existing. Great. Let's remove it. Might as well do it from scratch. mkdir gh pages demo. So our folder has been created. Let's see if it's here. GH pages demo. Yes, definitely it is here. Here it is. Okay. Now cd GH pages demo. We're in the folder. Now most of you probably must be using VS Code, right? The most popular code editor out there. Followed, like, of course, some people prefer IntelliJ, like Lowkick and I. But just for today, for simplicity, I installed VS Code. So I'll cover all of this in VS Code. Okay. So of course, you are in the directory, and to open VS Code in the terminal, you can write code and dot, which will open VS Code in the directory. Okay. Here we are. And what we're going to do here, I hope VS Code is visible.
Yeah, it is visible.
Great. Okay, so we're going to create a new file. Let's simply call it index.html. Since this is a web app, we're going to deploy something related to web. So HTML is a good choice for a file. It's very sarcastic, but okay. And normally, if you want, you can create, there is a HTML boilerplate you can add by default by using the exclamation mark and pressing enter. If you don't have this, probably the extension you need to use is Emmet. You can search for extension Emmet, and Emmet abbreviations will, I think, by default be part of VS Code. So pressing exclamation mark and enter will create all of this boilerplate by default code for you. Let us title this something nice. Let's say GitHub 101, and let us add what we call a h1 tag, for example. And I call this welcome to GitHub 101. Okay, and I'll add another tag. I'll add my name here. All right. So our basic web app is basically complete, the code of it. I mean, we are keeping it simple. We're just going to focus on how we're going to do get what do you call GH pages. So once your code is done, let us go back to the terminal. Let us see if our file is there. Great. Our normal steps: git init, step 1. Then git status to see what we have to commit or add. Okay, something is untracked, so we will git add the current directory. Then we will do git status, and we see, okay, changes, we need to commit something. So git commit -m and awesome web app done. Then once that is done, we need to create a repository onto our account. So let us do that. For example, let me go to my profile. Okay, repositories and new button. So let me call this GH pages demo. As I name the directory, normally the directory you name in your local machine is the directory is the name you use for your repository. That is a great convention. Let us create a repository here. I will copy this link here, the HTTPS link to connect my remote repository to my local repository. So let us go back to the terminal. Git remote add origin and paste the link. Okay, the remote has been added. Of course, if you want to really check if your remote has been added, you do git remote -v. -v basically gives your output in detail. The V stands for verbose, which means the detail basically. So you have your remote repository on the origin remote. That is clearly mentioned here. Okay, we have finished our commit. So we're going to simply push now. Git push origin master. Okay, that is done. Now we're going to check our code here. Now this is where the magic happens, guys. What you have to do is go to settings, okay, in your repository. And if you see, there's a section called pages down here. You click on that. Now GitHub pages requires a source. Which branch do you want GitHub pages to use to deploy your web application? So I'm going to select the master branch because since that's the only branch available there. And I'm going to click save. Okay, so now give GitHub pages some time, like it doesn't happen in an instant. GitHub needs to know that your code exists. It takes time to deploy. Okay, and we're going to give it some time, like say about 10 to 15 seconds. I usually sit here and refresh the page unless I see yes. So this green tick shows yes, your website has been deployed successfully. And once you click on the link, there we go. That's your basic website deployed. That's what I wrote in the HTML markup. Welcome to GitHub 101 and my name. And you will have normally your GitHub pages repository, what you call GitHub pages website will be your username / your repository name. Okay, that's how the format usually is. So yeah, I mean, that's a simple, straightforward GitHub pages. Thank you.
Thank you, Varun. That was really awesome. I hope the students who have participated here, they will be trying this thing out, and let's move forward.
Okay, so talking about some little advanced concepts for the curious ones out there, let's talk about GitHub Actions. So let's say you and your friends are working on a project, okay? And there is usually a moderator that you assign amongst your friends. Okay, तू moderator बन और जो भी pull request आए तो ऐसे manually click करके merge कर दे. तू पहले code देख और merge कर. But that is a big and manual process when it comes to large projects. So the best thing you can do is use GitHub Actions, and that allows you to do CI and CD. CI is continuous integration, and CD is continuous deployment. And these things come in basically what you call commands or a set of things you put in configuration files. Now, every time someone sends a pull request, you can run the code, you can test it automatically and merge the code automatically. All of these things happen automatically in the background because of GitHub Actions. And they introduced it about a year ago, pretty recently. And these have helped developers across the globe to eliminate manual integration of code. Okay, Let me just give a small little overview. I won't take much of your time. Let us talk about workflows. Workflows, what you see on the screen here, are basically the things that you want to do, like a sort of top level overview. Ki what do you want to do? Do you want to take in a code? Do you want to run the test on it? And then do you want to merge it? So all of these steps are basically, it's a one line text you can specify. This is my workflow. Then events. Events are basically triggers. Now triggers happen only when someone sends a pull request, someone wants to merge the code, or someone sends an issue, and all these things will act as events. Okay, and events will do something which will trigger an action, and actions, which are called jobs basically in this case, they run. They, in the case, for example, if anyone has written Node.js code, they know that you can run npm test, npm build, and npm deploy. You have to do them manually, and that is the worst thing you can do. Similarly, for Python, you need to deploy with manual commands, but GitHub Actions will take care of the rest and do everything for you in one fell swoop. Right. Next slide. Okay, so I'd like to call Ritvik to talk about the GitHub Student Developer Pack. Over to you.
Thanks, Varun and Lokik, for the wonderful demonstration. I believe all the attendees have learned many useful things. So as you have known that Git provides such wonderful features, so let us talk about some benefits that GitHub gives to its users. Okay, so one of them is GitHub Student Developer Pack, which is open to every student in a degree granting program, and it is irrespective of the location. Okay, yeah, GitHub has partnered with some of the best developer tools and given free access to students so that young developers can learn by using them. In total, if you calculate all the benefits that you get from Student Developer Pack, it's about worth 4 lakh rupees. Okay, and you get these absolutely for free. You get like domain names for free, Canvas Pro subscription, which is very useful for people in designing. Also, you get a GitHub Pro subscription. All these benefits are listed on the GitHub's official website. Now, most of you would be thinking like, how should I get my own pack? So for that, you have to follow the following steps. Go to your favorite browser and just type GitHub Student Developer Pack. The first link should lead you to education.github.com. There you just have to log in and fill in the appropriate details and give some proof that you are a student. So for that, you can upload your ID card for that proof. And for student of MES College of Engineering, it's very easy and it's very fast procedure. You all must have the email given by the college, right? Which has @mescoe.org.onmicrosoft.com, which you all use for Teams. So you just have to add that with your main account on GitHub. Okay, don't use it separately. It would be great if you add it with your main account so that you already have all the previous things that you have, and use that Microsoft email for verification of your student details. Okay, and then you just instantly get your Student Developer Pack. Okay, so I hope everyone will get the Student Developer Pack today itself. Next slide, please. Yeah, so moving forward, let's discuss about Hacktoberfest. Next slide. Yeah, so you have learned about so many open source contributions. So this is one of the events in which you can contribute, and we will let you know about this in October also. So in Hacktoberfest, DigitalOcean encourages developers to contribute to open source. You just have to register for the event and contribute to any of the projects which are registered with Hacktoberfest. The thing is that the contribution should be valuable. For example, you can change your design of the website, or you can help solve the problems in which their developers are stuck. So the duration is like as it is Hacktoberfest, so it is in October month, which is 1st to 31st of October. After that, all you need to do is make a pull request, and if it is approved uh, by the team, then you have successfully made your like contribution. And to get eligible for swags, you have to make such 4 quality pull request, and then you are eligible to win swags, like you can win a t-shirt, or even you can plant a tree. So if you choose to plant a tree, DigitalOcean's backend team plants one on their end. So this is a great way to gain knowledge, experience, as well as earn some cool swags. I hope every one of you will participate in this event. Going ahead, Manav will tell you about more such events.
Thank you, Ritvik. So, am I audible?
Yeah, you're
Yes,
audible.
Manav.
Yeah. So, thank you, Ritvik. And this brings us to a very important event called GSOC or Google Summer of Code. So, the aim of Google Summer of Code is to introduce students to open source software development. It usually lasts about 10 weeks and registration starts in February and results are announced in August. So interested students propose a project to work on. Accepted students spend the summer coding with guidance from a mentor. So if you are selected and if you're stuck somewhere, if you're having any problems, so mentors from particular domain or from the company reach out to you and help you. Also, if they are not available due to any reason, the members of DSC are always happy to help you and submit your code for the world to see in the end. So let's talk about benefits that why should you take part in Google Summer of Code. You get a great learning experience and a good exposure to the industry. You get a stipend of about $1,500 and most importantly, there's a one-time referral for a possible job opportunity at Google. And if that doesn't excite you, then my friend, you are due for a checkup. And this brings us to a similar event called GitHub Externship. It is a 90-day fellowship program for third or pre-final year students of GitHub campus partner schools. It's a similar event like GSOC. You get hands-on experience to open source, and there's mentorship, real-world experience, and also stipend. So now we promised you guys that there will be a surprise in the end of the session. And Mihir, why don't you do the honors of revealing the surprise?
Uh, yes, yes. So you are, so you are all seeing the, so you are all seeing the poster of partnershiping of our, our our community with the Coursera for campus program. So under this program, you all will be able to get access for any course of your choice. Yes, and also you will get unlimited access for guided projects. So you must be thinking, what are these guided projects? So these are the projects that an instructor teaches you in the course, and you are expected to follow that along the course. So once you enroll for guided projects, you can develop the project on your own, and also you can add that on your CV. So once you complete the course, you will get a genuine certificate which will definitely add value to your CV. So if you want to be the part of this program, a Google form link will be provided shortly in the chat box. Go through the form, fill the details, and yes, you are done. We will send an email to your email, and after that you are eligible to apply for any course under this campus program. So what you're waiting for? Come fill the form and be the part of this community. So if you are having any doubt regarding the campus program, the questions, note down the questions. We will answer them after the Kahoot quiz.
So everyone, get set and get ready to go to kahoot.it and be prepared for a game pin that our quiz master will give you, and be prepared to answer all these questions, and all the very best. Exciting prizes are waiting for the winners.
Yeah, so guys, Pari will come up now and she will be sharing a screen, participating this quiz, and the winner gets a $475 coupon. So let's go for it.
Let's go, Pari.
Hello, everybody. Heading towards the most awaited part of today's session, that is quiz. I'm pretty sure that you all are excited, but I'm not damn sure. I want all of you to spam the chat section by saying a yes if you are excited. Come on, guys, or react with an applause or heart or like anything. Okay. Okay, great. So I'll be sharing my screen. Can you see my screen? Hello.
Right.
No, right.
Now?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. So before starting, I would like to give a few instructions to you all that the questions will be seen on my screen, so that keep your laptops open, get your phones and enter www.kahoot.it. Then you'll be having an option to enter your PIN. The PIN will be known to you very soon. Once you see the PIN, enter your PIN, and the next thing is entering your name. I request everyone to please put their first name properly. Please don't go anonymous or put any random name, and so that it's easy for us to give out coupons. And I'm really excited to know that who is going to get hands on those amazing jet train coupons. So let's get the pin. I hope that my instructions are clear. If you have any kind of doubt, please ask in the chat section. Can you see the pin?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
Pari, we can.
Yeah, I'll repeat the pin for everybody. It's 632740. Okay, we have Ruturaj here. Great. Great response, guys.
So also guys, after the event, we'll share the slide deck with you, the form to which you can apply for Coursera. You will be getting the mails, and also the form to join our GitHub organization. So after this thing ends, after all the session ends, you have to create a GitHub account. We'll share you the invite on mail and also the Coursera account and also all the slide decks. So let's see, and all the best for the quiz, guys.
We'll wait for another few minutes.
Okay, guys, fair warning that you might experience a certain lag because all of this information is coming through the internet. So please excuse us if there are any troubles, but that which we can't control in our hands. So be as responsive as possible. Try to be as much faster than your peers and friends, and try to win the quiz.
Are we good to begin?
Just give them 1 second, 1 minute. They'll just join. When
Yeah,
we
yeah.
hit mark of 90, then we are good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So guys, I'll be reading out the questions once so that you don't face any problem if there is a lag, and try to answer it as fast as you can. Okay. Shall we begin?
I believe we can, yes.
Yeah, 100. If it hits 100, we are good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll wait. It's 100.
Okay, you can start, Pari.
Okay, I'll begin. So guys, put your seatbelts on. We are going to get into the quiz. That is GitHub 101. Here's your first question. I can't see the question. Can somebody please read the question because I can't see the question?
What?
Varun? Varun,
Yeah, Lokik, you can read. Yeah.
कैन यू वो ऊपर नहीं जा सकता क्या? वो बीच में आ रहा है
actually.
हाँ
Okay. Yeah.
There we go. Much better.
Okay, so the correct answer is git clone. For the question, what's the git command that downloads a repository from GitHub to your computer? Let's see who all have given the correct answer. And we have Uday on first, Vaibhav, Vinay, Zaman, and Yash. Let's see the next question. How do you create a copy of your repo under your own GitHub account so that you can edit the code?
Pari, read option as well.
Yeah, okay. For the next question. And the time is up. Let's see who all have given the correct answer. The correct answer is forking it via the GitHub interface. We have Abhishek Sharma climbing up to the first position, and then we have Sara, Pratik, Gatik, and Sairaj. And Ashutosh has climbed up to 23 places. So let's have a look at the third question. Which one of these is main goal of a pull request? Obtain a clone of repository, create a branch, merge a branch into a project, or none? Three, two, one. That's it. So the correct answer is by merging a branch into a project. 53 of them have given the correct answer. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. Sara climbing up at the first position, Abhishek, and then Pratik, Sairaj, and Gatik. Let's have a look at the next question.
Okay, I'll read the question. How do you check the state of your local Git repository since your last commit? First is git check, blue is git status, yellow is git commit, green is git diff.
Okay, so the correct answer for this is git status. We can see Sara maintaining the first position, Pratik climbing up, Abhishek, Ajay, and Gatik. Let's have a look at the next question.
How do you state files for a commit? Git stage, git commit, git add, git reset.
And the correct answer is git add. 27 of them have given the correct answer, and I don't know why they've given git commit because the question has commit in it. So the scoreboard, Sara maintaining the first position, then Abhishek Sharma, Sairaj, I don't know who is git, and Uday. 12 players just hit answer streak of 3. That means they have continuously given the correct, the answer. Next question.
How do you stage files for a commit? Red is get stage, get commit is blue, get add is yellow, and get reset is green.
And the answer for this is get add. 33 of them have given the correct answer. In the scoreboard is Sara still maintaining the first position, and Git climbing up, Uday climbing up, Abhishek Sharma and Shravani. The next question, that is 7th. Which one of these statements is true?
Yeah, so first is cloning a forked repository creates a local repository. There's no reason to clone a forked repository. A fork and a clone are the same thing. The two repositories cannot be synchronized.
And the correct answer is cloning a forked repository creates a local repository. 51 of them are right. Let's have a look at the scoreboard. And we still have Sara at the first, then Git, Uday, and Abhishek and Sairaj. We have enough questions, so I request everyone to answer as fast as possible, and the correct answer, of course.
What's a shortcut to stage all the changes you have? So get commit add, get commit dot, or get push am message.
Viola, the correct answer is git add. 37 of them are right. And we have Git climbing up on the first position, then Sara, Abhishek, Uday, and Sairaj. And Ruturaj is back with another streak of 3. Let's have a look at next question. What must you do to add a local commit to the remote repository? Red is push, blue is stage, yellow is pull, and green is merge. The answer is push. 43 of them have given the right answer. And we see Sara climbing up again at the first position, then Abhishek, Uday, Sairaj, and Git. 10th question, how do you supply a commit message to a commit? Red, git message, I am coding. I think you should see the changes in what the options is. It's not going to help reading out the options. And 3, 2, 1. The correct answer is green. 50 of them are right. Wow, amazing. We have Abhishek Sharma on the first, then Sara, Uday, Sairaj, and Almas. 4 players just hit answer streak of 5. So let's head towards the second last question of quiz. Which one of the following statements about the merge conflicts is true? Red is merge conflicts cannot occur in Git. Blue is merge conflicts can be fast forward merged. Yellow is merge conflicts occur when a person needs to make a decision. And green is all of them. Yellow is the correct answer. Merge conflicts occur when a person needs to make a decision. 24 of them are right. So let's have a look at scoreboard. Oh, we have Abhishek Sharma at the first, Sara, Uday, Sairaj, and Almaz. So this is the last question for the quiz, and I hope that you all are excited for it. Yeah, 12 of 12. Which one of these statements about Git is true? Git helps manage the history of the project. Each version of the project is called a branch. The commit containing one small change to a project is not practical, and none. Here's the right answer. Git helps manage the history of the project, and 37 of them are right. Let's have a look at the result. Ta-da! Abhishek Sharma on third by 8,100 points, Sairaj on second by 8,227 points, and first is Uday. Congrats, Uday. Runner-up is Sara and Mithali. I request the position holders to please DM us your email ID so that we can send you the JetBrain coupons. Hello.
Yeah, guys, you can just DM us your email ID or you can contact us on Instagram so that we can give you all. Yes.
Contact us on Instagram. Amazing. Thank you, Pari.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Manav. Okay, so guys, now is the time. If you wish to ask us anything related to Coursera, we have people here who can answer that, as well as any Git related questions. Git or GitHub, anything you want to ask, please go ahead. Ask us in the chat. And if you wish to actually unmute and ask us a question, you can ask permission for it and we'll let you speak.
Yeah, Sakshi. So we'll be sharing all the forms once this session is over within 1 hour of it. And we'll be giving you all the details to fill. And also when you get the mail, you're good to go and complete all the courses of the Coursera you want.
Loki wants to say something.
No. गलती से वो रहेगा.
Okay, so next question, Varun, can you just keep?
Yeah, okay. Simple and straightforward actually. Your contributions are being tracked by the GitHub website themselves. So you create a local repo and you connect a remote, as you saw in the demonstration. You can connect your remote repository to your local one, make changes there, and all of what you do as a contribution, or whatever you do will be saved over there, and everyone knows that your repository exists. But make sure that your repository is public. So is that answer your question? Well, no, because Google Drive will not let you go to the past versions of your code. And of course, GitHub is also, Google Drive does not let you make pull requests, issues, then all of these extra additional features that GitHub provides, you will not find in Google Drive.
Basically, Google Drive is a storage thing, and we want to develop a project. We want a version control system. So Google Drive नहीं कर सकते.
There's one
Okay.
question: how to set up personal access token?
Yeah, I have an amazing link for you for that. It is a very long process, so I might as well put the link of the documentation. You can go ahead and read that. I put that in the chat.
Okay, guys, any more questions?
Any questions regarding Coursera program?
Yeah, you can ask that.
Okay, so there are no more questions, right, guys?
We can take your questions perhaps later. You can DM us on Instagram. You can talk about Git and GitHub on our WhatsApp groups. We can discuss there as well.
Also ping on Discord as well.
Yeah, Discord is also the best place. You can actually have talks and sessions over there.
Okay.
What is the difference between? What is the difference between Git, Bash, and terminal? Oh, okay. So let's talk about the terminal first. Let's start at the top level. A terminal is a interface where you can type in text commands to perform certain actions. Now, for your operating system, for example, Linux, Windows, or Mac OS, to understand what your command should do, we need something called a shell. Okay, and this is a very like operating system concepts in third year. So one of your shells is Bash. Okay, in my case, I had ZSH. There are many different shells you can use. CSH, I think, is one. It's a very old one. And so Bash is a basically interface between you and the operating system that tells what command you want to run. Okay, and your terminal is basically a place where you type in the command. But Git is a command line interface, and Git is it's a tool, a version control system tool you can use to whatever we've explained you today, like creating repositories, adding, pushing, committing, and keeping track of your code. So that's the difference between a terminal, Bash, and Git.
Okay.
Okay.
Next is
Mihir, you can take the question on CJ.
So you can apply for one course at a time, but once you complete the course, you can ping us and we will tell the further process.
Yeah, so basically we have a lot of courses, but the only thing is you have to complete one course at a time. You can't just enroll and keep that course on wait and just go on without completing the courses. So first you need to complete one course, and then if you complete, we'll be able to see it on a dashboard, and then we'll give you the access to the rest of the courses. So it's like complete one course, go for the next course.
That's right.
Yeah, sounds cool enough. Also, the courses are from like Google or Yale, then many
Intel.
universities, Imperial College of London. So
Yeah,
yeah,
one more change. The Harvard and Stanford courses are not for free. The Coursera itself doesn't give that for free. So rest of the course like Microsoft, Google, IBM, or other any course that you find on Coursera are absolutely for free.
Yeah,
except Stanford and Harvard University courses.
So there are alternatives for it too. If you want, I can just sort those out for you guys.
Yeah, you can DM us for that.
Yeah. Also, if you have any doubts regarding today's session, you can call us on Discord. We'll be online after this session too, handling your doubts. You can just connect us on the talk one. And if you have any personal doubts, though like you can't ask in here, we'll be there to help you one on one, and we'll have a good chat over there. So if you have anything, just ping us on Discord. Will we
Absolutely.
Yeah, obviously.
Absolutely.
See, thing is, the advantage of this is we have partnered with Coursera. So you are not paying anything or you're not applying for financial aid. Thing is, we are partnered, so you are enrolling for a course, you will be getting the courses certificates in the end. The only thing is you need to complete the courses and you will be getting the Coursera certificates for free. So
That's right.
yeah, that's what we do in partnership.
Correct. And in every Coursera course, there are something called peer graded assignments. And even only when you complete those, you will get a proper certificate. Mihir, did you explain about guided project or what they can do with that?
Yes, they are the projects that an instructor teaches during the course. So you can develop the projects by just seeing the guided projects. There is no need for teaching or other stuff like that. But in course you will be taught, and along with that, guided projects will be there that you need to follow.
Actually, guys, guided projects are the best because personally, my experiences I learn by doing instead of just studying theory and books. So of course, you will enjoy that as well. So guided projects are the best thing, and there are actually teachers over there that will teach you how to do it really well.
In guided projects, no much teaching will be there. Much part of developing project is there. But in
Yeah.
course, you will be taught more, and along with that, you have to follow that project.
Also, yeah, guys, coming weekend we'll be having a gaming night on Discord server. So if you haven't joined, then join the Discord server ASAP. We'll be hosting a Valorant tournament soon there too. So let's see you on Discord. Also, Discord is a personal space we use to interact with you guys. So if you have any doubts, if you have anything to say, if you want to stream your game, if you want to show your projects, we are there to help you out every time. And be active on Discord.
Yes, so a link tree has been shared to you in the chat. Everything that is related to DSC Misco is present on that link, and you can join us everywhere. Manu, you can actually go to the next slide. Yeah, so our handles over here. You can check out like LinkedIn as well as Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram with these particular handles. And our organization on GitHub is also there. As I explained what our organization is on GitHub, and you can contribute your projects over there. You can, of course, we'll share the form to register yourself on the organization. That will be shared soon. And you can take a look at our website, dscmisco.tech. Like you can poke around stuff, see our events and videos and whatnot. And yeah, we just hope you had a great time, guys.
Yeah, so thank you for joining us today, guys. Next weekend, we'll be having one more session that will be revealed soon, within a day or two. So let's tighten our seatbelts and wait for it on the Instagram announcement. Any questions, or you can just end the meet? Yeah, you're welcome, Almas.
You will have all the organizers and the speakers turn on their videos for a picture.
Yeah,
that'll be nice.
Can you guys just turn on your camera for a bit?
Yeah, even the attendees, please go ahead if you would wish to.
Manu, stop sharing.
Manu, you can stop streaming.
Also, yeah, if you want to contribute to GitHub and all, we have the learning resources ready now. So we'll be sharing it soon. You can just start your developer journey with it. Okay.
Yeah, guys.
Karan, can you please take the screenshot?
Yeah, it's on the way.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for joining, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Priyanka, just stop the recording.